For father's sake. How long does it take a single person to be fetched in my kingdom? You there. God. On the left of the door. Fool. Approach. Tell me, when did I send out that courier? For Oberon's sake. 3 entire months? Did something happen to the courier? No. You don't suppose he took the gold and ran, do you? No, I don't either. Very well. Tell me, remind me what your name was again. I see. My apologies, I seem to have forgotten the first time you've told me. I won't forget again. How's your family? I see. Is your daughter holding up well with the medicine I sent her? That's very nice to hear. Oh! Come in. Finally. Welcome back, courier. It took you long enough. Have you brought the person I requested? Thank you. I do have to ask what took you so long. My realm certainly isn't that vast. I see. That's rather odd. Werewolves, you say? And vampires, too. I'll have to look into these matters. Thank you for informing me. See my treasurer. He should be able to grant you the necessary funds for your return home. While your journey to the furthest reaches of my kingdom took far longer than I had intended, your efforts are invaluable, shall we say. Very well. Thank you, courier. Guard. No, the guard on the right of the door this time. Please fetch our guest. I'd like to have a word with them. Thank you. Thank you, guards. You are dismissed. Ah, welcome. I've waited for some time to find you. Welcome to my home. I am the Duke of Night Hollow, Noah L. Greenforest. I assume you've already been told why I've summoned you. I beg your pardon? You haven't? It's so hard to find good help these days. Damn courier. Well, allow me to apologize on that fool's behalf. I have summoned you here for a personal reason, shall we say. You see, lately I find myself curious as to how my realm is holding up. As you saw by the large barrier around my home, I am, shall we say, unable to properly supervise my kingdom. As a result of, well, my current predicament, I often send out advisors and couriers to monitor the status of my kingdom. However, I find myself in need of a more permanent solution. Often those I send out just take the gold I've given them and, well, make a run for it, shall we say. I did have my guards look into you before I sent my courier, and from what I've heard, you seem to be quite knowledgeable about the vast reaches of my kingdom. I've heard tale that you've traveled all around it. Although, oddly enough, I couldn't find out why. Tell me, what do you seek to gain by traveling so much? Is it just a fascination? I see. Well, would you be interested in working for me? I can assure you the pay is quite nice. I am as generous of a ruler as I am patient. What would I have you do? Well, that's quite simple. I simply need you to inform me of the current status of my kingdom. Seeing as how you've traveled through most of it, I am more than interested in finding out the current status so I may improve, as well as fix any sort of issues that arise. It has come to my attention that the northeastern lands of my kingdom seem to be plagued with werewolves, while the southern lands are plagued with vampires. Although, considering how hot it is there, I'm hoping rather, that the problem will simply fix itself. However, I would still like to be kept informed. So. You have a question. Speak. If I have rulers of the economy of each land, why do I simply not call them? A fair question. However, I already have an answer for that. I require a more personal touch. Often those in power scheme to gain more power. And I find it unfair, shall we say. And often enough, I have been dealing with other rulers, and a change of pace is nice. Who all has come to visit me in my lovely abode? Well, from most recent memory, a countess from a northern land. I forget her name and what the land was called, but I'm sure it will come to me in time. That's beside the point. Tell me, do you have any siblings? None. Interesting. Family? Mother? Father? You don't? Do you mind if I ask why? I see. Just born an orphan, are we? I'm sorry to hear that. So, do you have another question for me? Or do I get to ask one of you again? Why can't I leave my home? Well, you're not blind. There's a barrier around my home. And unfortunately, it acts as a seal, keeping, well, anyone I don't want out, and keeping me within these walls. But only me. A gift from my father. Whenever my mother passed away due to mortal influence. No, I would rather not discuss my mother. When my mother passed, my father thought it was best that I stay at home. So he used his magics to keep me locked away. All the while the lands around my kingdom grew and grew. Hell, half of the people don't even know who I am anymore. I've been trapped in here for, what, 30 years now? Being blessed with immortality is quite vexing. So, in my spare time, whenever I'm not wondering about the status of my kingdom, I often read or find ways to break that damn barrier. Unfortunately, His Majesty is quite proficient in, well, all forms of magic. And even after all this time, well, this is all beside the point. Very well. Do you accept my offer or not? Thank you. It's quite appreciated. I have a room waiting for you. Down the stairs, first door on your left. I've made sure it was prepared for you. Yes, I knew you would accept my offer. I wouldn't have summoned you otherwise. When you're finished looking over your accommodations and judge them all to be adequate for you, summon the maid to your room. She's energetic, shall we say. She will keep you advised on where and where not to go within my home. When you're finished speaking with her, please come back here. I'd like to get a jump on things, as it were. Yes. And welcome once again to my lovely home. It's a pleasure.